Hi guys, welcome back to Suero TV. We're back and today we actually have Mr Thapelo Tsheole, the CEO of Botswana Stock Exchange, in studio today to get to know him better and his views on investing and on a general. Let's hear him out. So I can't wait for you guys to hear him. Mr Tsheole, welcome to Suero TV.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate you creating time to see us today. So we're just here basically to get to know you a little better in your view on investing and why we should invest in the stock exchange as well. But first, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay, except that there's just a lot on my table now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Yes.
But we really appreciate your time. How does your typical day look like? Take us through your daily routine.
I think my typical day is to be up around 5 in the morning. Or 5:30, and then I do my gym or my jog. And then after that, I just take a bath and drive to the office. And then at the office, normally my schedule will be predetermined over a period of time. But the first thing that I do is to look at if there are any urgent emails or things that I need to do. First, I normally plan my day well in advance.
Yes.
And then after that, it's meetings or confirmations of some other tasks with various departments or various entities internationally that I also work with. And break for lunch, short lunch midday, and then normally these days I knock off around 5, 6.
That's good.
Yeah.
What time did you used to wake up? Well, knock off, sorry.
I used to knock off very late, but normally sometimes I just take some work home.
Okay.
And then go and do some 2 hours or so. But I think over a period of a year and a half, I've actually reduced that and try to squeeze everything within a specific period of time by 6.
Yeah. Why?
I think also to give myself time off.
Yeah. Family time.
But also because sometimes in most evenings is actually some dinners, and casual meetings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I understand that. So where is Mr Tsheole from? Who is Mr Tsheole and where is he from?
I'm from Muchuli.
Yes.
I was born in 1975. I grew up in Muchuli. I went to school in Muchuli. I'm a typical Mokhatla boy who grew up like any other person. And then I came to Gaborone for primary school first, and then I went back to complete my primary school in Muchuli. And then I went to UB, I went to Grahamstown for master's degree, and then for another master's degree at UCT. And that's just how I am. But I'm a person who is so passionate about my village.
Where you come from, and the sense of humor that Bakatla have.
And I spend a lot of my time in Muchuli.
Oh, is it? Do you have the same sense of humor like the rest of Bakatla, like the
crazy
sense of humor?
I'm not too sure. Maybe not.
We actually have cousins from Muchuli. That sense of humor it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So, what is the one thing that you're deeply grateful for right now?
I'm grateful for life.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for people surrounding me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm also very grateful that, on comparison basis, I mean, I've generally done quite well in many aspects of life.
Yes.
And therefore, I think it's something that if I'm to talk about my person in terms of being grateful, I think those are the things that I'm grateful for.
All right. So when you feel overwhelmed and unfocused, which happens to everybody, what do you do? What do you do?
I take time off.
Yeah.
It
means time out for you.
Time out. I take time out. There are certain instances where I work hard for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then I take time off, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I know I've taken time off. So that's what I normally do.
What does time off mean for you?
Time off means just resting at home at my house.
Yes.
Or just getting out of town, either checking my friends in the next door in South Africa.
Oh yeah.
Or just going to one of the game parks and then just relax.
Just take it literally,
It actually means so much minimum work, minimal reading. Yeah. Because I read a lot.
You read a lot?
Yeah, I read a lot. Even when I knock off, most of the time in the evening I'm reading.
Oh, what's your current read?
General stuff. I think I'm reading two books at the same time now. The other one is by a South African billionaire, and the other book is it's an Afrikaner book which was printed in 1979, and then it went out of print, and then they have reprinted it.
Oh, okay.
And then it just talks about the organization of the Afrikaner community.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's sort of political economy type of book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the billionaire that you're reading on?
There are three of them that I've been reading of.
Yeah.
The ShopRite guy.
Ah.
That's the guy that I've been reading.
You've been
about.
picking his brain,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
So you've talked about where you studied. What did you study exactly at University of Botswana?
Yeah, I did single major in economics as my first degree.
Yes.
And then I went to Bank of Botswana to work for about 5 years. And then I went to Grahamstown in South Africa to study masters in financial markets. And then I came back to Bank of Botswana for 5 months, and then I joined the stock exchange in 2007 as a product development manager. And then I went to do my MBA at business school, UCT Business School, in 2012, 2013. And then I was promoted to be deputy CEO. But then after 2 years, I took over the position of the CEO in 2016. Yes. So I've been CEO for almost 8 years now.
8 years. So you've only worked for two companies, basically, ever since you've graduated?
Yes, generally. But I had a 3 months work with one of the government departments.
Okay.
But it's basically 2 jobs.
Two jobs, yes.
Yeah, since I graduated.
Very interesting.
And only in the financial markets.
Only in the financial markets.
Yeah.
What was your key driving force to become a financial market expert? Have you always known this would be your path?
Yeah, I was a science student.
Yeah.
At high school. I did very well in sciences. I qualified for all those science courses. But I somehow, by luck, I chose not to do sciences. I chose social sciences. And within the social sciences, I ended me in economics. And I think it's sort of an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Economics is an evolution course in terms of what happens. It keeps you up to your toes, especially financial markets.
Yeah.
The financial industry is forever evolving. It's forever changing.
Yes.
It's forever challenging, and it's forever interesting. I think it's one of the most interesting fields one can actually choose.
What would you say was your biggest highlight of your journey so far? Or is your biggest highlight? Because you're still on the journey.
Yeah, I think the biggest highlight of my journey, there are several of them. I mean, really, being appointed as CEO of a stock exchange worth about 400 billion pula at the age of about 39.
Yeah, that's
I think especially in a country where CEOs positioned by then were typically given to older people.
Yes.
I think it was a highlight of my own personal journey.
Yes.
But the other highlights were, I've empowered a lot of young people in the industry. I've produced a lot of brilliant young girls and guys who are now picking their own in the industry and participating in various aspects. I think it gives me comfort and happiness to see that into the market. Yeah. And also the other highlights is being elected the president of stock exchanges in Africa.
Yes.
It's a big position. 2,000 companies listed across African markets. A total size of about $2 trillion. Yes. And it's a good responsibility. Yeah. And the good thing is that this one is a vote by my peer CEOs of stock exchanges in Africa.
In Africa, so it says a lot, actually.
So it means a lot to me, but I've also participated in a lot of my social activities in my village. I do a lot of community service, the walk-ins, some of the assignment also assigned by the chief of Bachelor. I do them on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Tsheole, first of all, congratulations on your new position that you've just been voted in. Yeah. You've done tremendous work on the BSE.
Yes.
Ever since you took over, we've been observing, we've been looking, and what I would like to ask you, what was the vision there, and what milestones have you been so proud of so far?
Yeah, I mean, the vision of the BSE is basically driven from the BSE strategy, which I played a very great role as the CEO to influence.
Yes.
Firstly, some of the goals are some of the career intentions that I've always wanted to achieve. Reach out to Batswana and empower Batswana in financial literacy and also to participate in the market.
Yes.
When I took over, there were about 23,000 investors. Right now, 7 years later, we are sitting at about 105,000. That's about a 500% increment.
Yes.
The other vision was that also incorporated in the strategy as approved by the board and other stakeholders, shareholders, is to complete the demutualization of the BSE to turn it into a company. That I did within 2 years of taking over. The other aspect is actually to win the BSE from receiving government subvention, government funds.
Yes.
That I achieved within a year and a half.
And he's running on his own now.
Yes, we have been profitable since.
That's tremendous.
Since I took over a year and a half later,
yes.
which is a good thing. And also some strategies include the increase in the product base.
Yeah.
We have more bonds now. We have commercial papers, and then we have more exchange funds than when I took over.
Yeah.
And also the other aspect revolves around making a mark for the BSE internationally.
Yes.
We are the secretariat for SADC Stock Exchanges, and then currently we also hold the presidency for African Stock Exchanges.
Yes.
It means a lot for impact in the international space. Yeah. And there are a lot of other achievements associated with our internationalization strategy that we have adopted, which we are doing quite well, which I'm also proud of.
No, we are very proud, and we've actually noticed, and we are observing your journey, and we are seeing the tremendous work that you're actually doing, and working really hard to sensitize and to educate Batswana on investing on the stock market. Now, let's actually talk about the culture of investing. Now, let's talk about the investing part, the message that you actually preach for us to be interested in actually investing. You've grown for over 500%. That is tremendous work. So if you were to advise the viewer out there about buying of shares and buying, what would you say the main benefit of it would be?
Yeah, look, as people, we live in a country that have got an economy. An economy is composed of production or producing entities, which are companies.
Yes.
These companies produce goods and services, which goods and services are consumed by everybody in the country and even outside the country.
Yes.
And when companies produce goods and services, they make money. And then when they make money, they make profit sometimes. When they make profit, it's because you are buying the services and the goods of this particular company. And therefore, when you are investing, you are actually taking part in terms of getting a share of the profits of the services that you are actually buying.
Yes.
You take your money to the banks keep your money, they roll that money to loans, they make profits, and therefore they pay out part of their profits to the shareholders.
Yes.
So all what you are saying is that you need to become a shareholder in the ownership of the company, a shareholder who also benefit from the profits of the company.
Yes.
So the company.
Yes.
That's the whole story about investing.
Yes. And why we should do it. What would you advise Botswana to do? The best way to do it. The best way to do it sometimes to actually invest on the company that you are actually possibly supporting and actually buying from. Would it be the best way to do it?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Apart from the fact that we don't offer investment advice as the BSE, but I would say to do it is you need to do it because look. The companies in the BSE constitute about 40% of the GDP of the country.
Yes, it's very high.
And therefore, when you buy a share, you're actually buying ownership in those particular companies because they are producing goods and services that in any case you consume.
Yes.
And therefore, you just need to look at which companies you want to invest in because when you invest, you want a return. A return in terms of the price will appreciate or the company will pay more dividends. So you have to look at a variety of ways. But that in terms of advice, we don't do advice.
Yeah.
You can talk to one of our brokers to really advise.
Okay. Yes. All right. So current economic climate.
Yes.
Is it the best time to invest?
there's always a best time to invest, looking at the appetite of the investors. Sometimes prices tend to be lower now because of the we just came out of COVID, and therefore maybe the long-term future is good, and therefore it might be a good time to invest. It also depends on the time of the sectors, in terms of the sectors that you are investing in. Whether you want property, fast-moving consumer goods, which are the likes of your BSE, your Falana, and which people consume. Because in any case, people will always consume goods and services. And therefore, that might be the right opportunity to start investing. You can also hedge your risk or protect your risk by investing in exchange traded funds, which is basically a basket of securities. And therefore, you know that when one sector goes up, the other sector will go down.
Yes. Okay. So that's basically the best way to do it. So what is the one idea that experts in your field say that you disagree with?
There are a number of things. I can't think of one thing that they say that I personally disagree with. I
can't think of something at the top of your head right now.
I can't think of something off the top of my head.
What are your current favorite brands right now? Companies who are doing right according to your observation and analysis?
Yeah, unfortunately I can't say because it will be seen as investment advice.
I see.
Yeah, and therefore the regulation at which I am, I can't actually do that.
You can't.
But I have some, obviously, but I can't.
Not necessarily listed.
Unfortunately, most of them are listed.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily here, but somewhere else.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tsheole, what can people expect from you next?
Yeah, I think I'll run the BSE for the next 1 or 2 years. And then I'll still look at my options in terms of my own future.
Yes.
In terms of my own contribution to the country, in terms of my own contribution to the community which I come from.
Yes, Muchudi.
Yes. And then I'll take a decision when the right time comes.
All right.
Yeah, but obviously I've got a clear plan, but it's only that I'm not at liberty to share it openly now.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. How has a failure or apparent failure set you up for later? So do you have a favorite failure that you have?
Yeah. Look, as human beings, we always fail in one or the other. I mean, as a student of leadership and personal development from UCT, these are some of the things that we have always been taught of. You can't win on everything.
Yes.
But it's only that for me, I think I've had too many wins than failures. And therefore, the way I deal with failure is that, it happened. I look at if there was some mistakes that were committed, I look at it.
Yes.
And then see how I can develop it. So I take failure as a lesson.
Yes.
Generally in life. I wouldn't specify an exact failure, but there's no human being who can say they've never failed on any other aspect.
Okay.
That's how I look at failure.
All right. Is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to share as we close up?
I think we have covered everything.
We have covered everything, yes. You're happy about the interview.
Yes.
Mr. Tsheole, thank you so much.
Thank you,
really
guys.
thank you for coming and sharing your knowledge.
Yeah.
We're hoping Batswana and the viewers out there is actually encouraged, inspired by you as well on the hard work that you've done, as well as to invest into the stock market. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.